Ever wondered what dark secrets lie buried beneath the golden sands of Egypt, hidden within the magnificent tombs of the pharaohs? We see the towering pyramids, the dazzling treasures, and the godlike statues. But there's a chilling story etched into the very bones of these ancient rulers, a story of power, divinity, and a curse they brought upon themselves. In ancient Egypt, the pharaoh wasn't just a king, he was a living god, a direct descendant of the deities who created the cosmos. His blood was considered sacred, a divine essence that set him apart from all mortals. To protect this celestial lineage, to keep the blood of the gods pure and undiluted, the royal family followed a practice that seems shocking to us today. They believed that power and divinity could only be passed through the purest of vessels, and so they turned inward. Pharaohs married their own sisters, princes married their nieces, kings even took their own daughters as wives. For generations, this was the royal way. It wasn't just accepted, it was celebrated as a holy duty, a way to ensure the stability of the kingdom and maintain their connection to the divine realm. They were literally keeping it in the family, convinced that this was the key to their eternal glory. Imagine the grand wedding ceremonies draped in gold and jewels, celebrating a union that sealed not just a marriage, but the perceived purity of a divine bloodline. They were crafting a dynasty they believed would last for eternity, a line of human gods ruling over the mortal world. But the gods they so fervently worshipped seemed to have a different plan. Or perhaps the laws of nature are a power even gods must obey. The very practice meant to preserve their divine strength began to poison them from within. The royal nurseries, which should have been filled with the laughter of healthy godlike children, became silent chambers of sorrow and fear. Babies were born frail and sickly, many not surviving past infancy. Those who did grow up were often plagued by strange and debilitating ailments. We see it in their remains. King Tutankhamun, the famous boy king, had a clubfoot and a cleft palate, and likely suffered from bone disease. He needed a cane to walk, a far cry from the powerful image of a pharaoh we see carved on temple walls. His father, Akhenaten, is depicted with an elongated skull, androgynous features, and a pot-belly, physical traits so unusual that scholars have debated their cause for centuries. Was it an artistic style or a true reflection of genetic abnormalities? The evidence from their mummies points to a grim reality. Generations of inbreeding had turned their sacred bloodline into a genetic minefield. They suffered from rare diseases, hormonal imbalances, and physical deformities. The royal family was literally falling apart, one generation at a time. The powerful dynasty was being devoured from within by its own obsession with purity. Whispers must have snaked through the opulent palace halls. Were the gods angry? Had they abandoned their chosen children on earth? Priests would have offered countless prayers and sacrifices, trying to understand why the heavens had turned silent. But the curse wasn't supernatural. It wasn't a vengeful deity or a sorcerer's hex. It was simple biology, a relentless force they couldn't control with rituals or prayers. The very thing they believed made them gods was making them fatally human. Their divine mandate began to crumble. How could a pharaoh who could barely walk lead an army into battle? How could a queen suffering from chronic pain be seen as a vessel of divine health and prosperity? The stability of the entire kingdom, which rested on the belief in the pharaoh's divinity, was teetering on the edge of collapse. The royal family was trapped in a gilded cage of their own making, a cycle of decay they couldn't escape without abandoning the core belief that gave them power. And so, the great and mighty dynasties of Egypt eventually faded. The line of kings, once destined for eternity, consumed itself. Today, as archaeologists and scientists study the mummified remains of these pharaohs, they uncover a story far more tragic and compelling than any myth. The CT scans and DNA analyses reveal the truth written in their bones, a legacy of genetic disorders. The splendor of their tombs, filled with gold and lapis lazuli, was meant to ensure their eternal life and godhood in the afterlife. But these treasures also entombed a dark secret. The curse of the pharaohs wasn't a magical spell placed on their tombs to ward off robbers. The real curse was the one they carried in their veins. It was a self-inflicted wound born from a desperate desire to be more than human, to control their own destiny and touch the face of God. In the end, their quest for divinity led them not to eternal glory but to their own tragic biological downfall. Their story serves as a powerful, timeless warning that sometimes the greatest dangers come not from our enemies, but from our own unchecked ambitions. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the dark side of ancient Egypt fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more hidden histories. See you next time.